Hey guys, this is Isaac from TuneZ, and today I'll be teaching about lighting and reflections, and why the way they teach it in art school is wrong. Okay, so for one, shading. A lot of times this is the first thing you learn, the first thing you learn will probably be to draw a line, but after you learn how to draw shapes, this is the first thing you learn about lighting, is usually, just wherever the light is, so like right here, I'm using a mouse, sorry. Wherever the light is, you just draw it lighter towards the light, and then it slowly becomes gradient and darker towards the opposite side. But I'm going to show you right now why this technique is wrong, alright? Okay, and it has to do with the principles of lighting and how light actually bounces off from other objects, not just the light source. So I'll be showing you that today. So here's an example. Alright, so here are three different materials in a scene. This is a 3D rendered thing. This is a 3D rendered image. Probably, I think it's in Blender. So first we have this cube. This is not cube. First we have the circle, and it is a sort of a rough circle. It's not really shiny or anything, but as you can see, it still has blue on it. It still has that sort of tint of blue, even though it's not like a metal or anything. And that's because every surface on Earth is reflective. You may not think that, but they are in a way. You can't always see it, but every surface on Earth reflects light. So just keep that in mind. That's a very important part of lighting, and I think people don't think about it that much. So and it's very important because it can make things look like they're in a scene. That's why when you ever Photoshop something like and you just take some random image in, and the reason why it doesn't look good, it doesn't fit in that scene, is because of the bounce lighting, also the lighting, but the environment is a different place. So the lighting, all the ways that the light is moving around is different. So that's why it doesn't look in place, is because of, for one, just lighting in general, and bounce light. Because when something is in a scene like a circle, it's getting, as you can see, it's getting color from the sky. It's getting some blue tints. It's also getting some lights, like city lights. I think it's also sort of reflecting off of that, and so you can get sort of like that sort of light color, like one of the, not LED, I don't know, but whatever. And as it gets, and then this is called, in a 3D program, this is called the roughness value, and it's how much of the reflection you can see. So as a material becomes more rough, the reflection becomes more blurry. So this still is reflecting. It's still reflecting, but it's just an extremely blurred reflection. So every object has a reflection. It's just very, very blurred, and it's almost unnoticeable sometimes. So but it does change the tint, the color of the object. I think that's a very important part of drawing things, and more so with digital art because of color. It's not so big of a deal when you're just drawing, because drawing doesn't really look, you can't go that deep into stuff without color. So it's definitely more important with digital art, but that's a big tip, I think, is that you should think about what material it is, and how the light interacts with it. So these are some basic materials, but some materials act in kind of weird ways. They're similar, but like skin, and this isn't finished yet, but I drew this thing. You don't have to pay attention to this weird mechanical thing. This is just an idea I had about something, but I'm going to use this as a example. So skin is what, in the graphical world or whatever, you would call a subsurface material. That means that when light hits it, it doesn't just reflect off, it actually goes sort of through it, and you know, the light sort of builds up inside of the material or whatever. So that's why when the sun hits, like the light of the sun hits skin or something like that, that's why it looks sort of reddish or orangish right on the shading line, is because is actually because it's reflecting through the person, I guess. It sounds kind of weird, but like the arm right here, it's actually reflecting, the light is actually going through the arm, and it's sort of absorbing some of that light. So that's why skin looks different than a lot of other materials, and it's actually one of the hardest materials to recreate because of that. And that's pretty much it. There's some more things about, you know, art and stuff I could talk about in other videos, but that's the basics of lighting. This is just a quick tip video. So see you later. This was Toon Z, and goodbye.